Welcome to A Journey Through Time, celebration of faith, community, and resilience. Today we commemorate a remarkable milestone, the 50th anniversary of Bardstown Church of God. For half a century, this sacred place has been a beacon of hope. It's been a sanctuary of worship. It's also been a cornerstone in our community. From humble beginnings in 1974, Bardstown Church of God has grown and flourished. It has been guided by an unwavering faith and the collective spirit of its congregation. Over the years, we've witnessed countless baptisms, weddings, and celebrations of life, in each of those events adding a rich tapestry of our church's history. Our journey has not been without the trials, yet through every challenge, our faith has remained steadfast. Our founding pastor, Pastor Mike Smith, envisioned a place where everyone could find solace and strength. Their vision has been carried forward by other dedicated pastors, including our current pastor, Pastor Edwin Lanehart, whose leadership and devotion have been an instrumental part in shaping our church's journey. As we reflect on the past, we remember the challenges we have overcome and the triumphs that we have celebrated. From the construction of the original building, the expansion, and the various programs offered, each step has been a testament to the power of faith and unity. Today, we honor the present, celebrating a vibrant and diverse congregation that continues to make Bardstown Church of God a place of love and support. Our ministries, from children and youth to our senior fellowships, they reflect our commitment to a nurturing spiritual growth and fostering a sense of belonging to all. Looking forward, we embrace a future filled with promise and purpose. With God's guidance, we will continue to serve, inspire, and uplift, building on the strong foundation laid over the past 50 years. My name is DJ Roberts. Join me as we reflect on the past, we honored the present, and we look forward to our future. Hi, I'm here with Brother James Wiggs. He is one of our charter members here at Bardstown Church of God. It's nice to see you today.
Good.
Thanks
Good
for
to be with
joining
you.
us. Yeah. So we've talked a little bit, me, you, and your lovely better half, about this 50th celebration, this year of Jubilee for Bardstown Church of God.
Yes.
It's come a long way. There, you don't hear of a lot of churches that reach this milestone, right?
That's exactly.
So, thanks for joining us. I'm just going to ask you a couple questions, kind of just get your take on some
Okay.
things, and we'll make it easy for you. So, question number one: how did you initially hear about Bardstown Church of God?
Well, Smitty Grable runs the shop across the road from Delaney's store, and they got at that time fruit and all that stuff. But anyway, he joined the church, and he aggravated me, want me to come more. And I was going to church at Bloomfield Church of God, and I've been there, I think, about 15 years. And she depended on me doing everything. And I was Sunday school superintendent there, and we needed to get her started, somebody else take over. And we finally got that going for her where I could get a chance to leave and come over here. So I didn't want to go to, I really didn't want to go to Bardstown gym. That's where they had it, I think, at that time. And they moved over to Tempin. It's a little next road down the road to where the church was at before Bardstown. But anyway, and Smitty's Grables, his wife taught one class, and they had two children. And I had two children, and they joined the church, but where they at now? I mean, I'm ashamed to say, but I can't get them to come to church. But they one got me led to going to Church of God, and I loved their the message that they had. And Brother Mike Smith, he was a wonderful guy. I mean, he's our pastor, and I mean, we all just everybody liked him. I mean, and when's the day come, and the sanctuary it was not built here. It was back there in this room, and Essling tell you a few problems back there, and they selected those chairs back there, and it's bad. Women wear pantyhose, but she'll tell you. But anyway, uh, there's little things like that went on, and the first time I knew they were going to build a church here, Jane Gray's lives on the street right across the road here, but glass house on the right down there. And of course, me and him were good friends and everything. And I went to his place in Fountain Run, different places up there, and helped him strip tobacco and everything over years. But anyway, we come up the hill and we were facing the church. Jane said, "We're going to go to church. So we're going to put it. Do you put it up here?" He said, "Yeah, we're going to put it up there." Now, who's going to get the bears and the elephants out there? I never saw such a mess in my life.
Wow.
But they, there's what we got now. We got to go mine. Mm-hmm. And Ashley will tell you about this sanctuary in here, and it's a blessing what the women did.
Right.
Because we had to depend on them pouring concrete. This floor is concrete. They had come in here, rakes and everything. They poured it all, and all the women, just smoothed it out on that.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. I've never heard that before. How, of course, it stands to tell too that, some people believe that the women are the backbone of the church.
Yes,
they
were.
Yeah, and there are a lot of that hospitality and how it keeps the church going. And stuff like that. So that's really cool. So what did you really expect whenever you initially became a member of Bardstown Church God? Was there anything that you had expected to get out of the service or out of the pastor or anything from the church family that you were expecting?
Well, when I joined church up there. My son and my daughter joined with us, and we had enough to get it started. That faded out pretty quick. I mean, I can't get them to come to church at all. My wife can tell you. But I mean, I tried. But my son received the baptism of the Holy Spirit, and that's what I really got involved after that.
Okay.
And I take them home shouting in the car. But I mean, there's things that you look back and it's so real that what God can do in a church. And I put it like this: Brother Mike Smith was a wonderful, wonderful preacher. I mean, everybody liked him. The people in Lowell liked him. Everything, but he got called. You don't believe it. They called him to go to another church, and you know what was that? Japan.
Really?
Yeah, he had to sell everything he had and go to Japan. After about 4 years here, I think about 3 or 4 years, it might be 5, but close to that. But I got used to him and Chris and his wife Sherry. And when we come here, they lived over on the other side of Shepherdsville, and back in there, and he had a house trailer. Well, I'm telling this that it's just one of those things that it stuck with me, and I've had it here so long. He hooked the house trailer, and he had a guy hooked to it and everything. They took off and on the road. Sherry had Chris in the little baby chair in the seat. She's following me, and I would guess we went about 3 miles down the road, and I looked back, she wasn't there. So I backed up and finally found her. She turned over in a creek, car upside down, or was on the side. Go get Adam, Lord mercy, James, get straightened out here. Brother Smith, go get him, tell him where I'm at. So I went at Shepherdville and called him. Then he had to go back and up there and get her everything. And you get a record and get the car out later on. But I mean, we initiated Chris real quick. You know, he got baptized and everything else right there in the creek.
So you were pretty much looking for something that was real.
Yeah.
You wanted something that would.
Yes.
I got you. Okay. Of course, you know, of a time there wasn't any cell phones. You know, I'm sure
Oh,
that it was a
no.
little hard to call
Yeah,
Brother Mike. And,
yeah.
yeah. So you said that you were part of the Bloomfield Church of God before you came here.
Yes.
You were a member there, correct?
Yes. Yes.
When did you first realize that Bardstown Church of God would be your home church?
Well, I felt like if they ever built it, James said he's going to build a church up here.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew it'd be closer to me here than go all the way to Bloomfield. And that's where I started looking forward to joining it. But they had to go through their process and getting it established and everything here in Bardstown. And it was rough. We didn't have it maybe 25 people at the most at Bible study or Sunday school. And we loved it. And what we had up there, you so close. We had to go in and clean seats up and everything else, co-set everything. But little things like that, you know. Then that's the reason I realized I need to come over here. But I had a hard time getting away from Sister Ruby. She was our preacher over there. And she pinned on me. I was doing everything. I mean, I was superintendent. And I was a Sunday school director and all that. But, you know, that was a challenge.
Yeah.
But she wouldn't let me. I mean, she had hope to me, and lucky get away.
I understand. So a lot of it for you was just basically distance for you to travel.
Yes.
You know, something that was close and in your own neighborhood. Yes. And you've grown up here in Bardstown.
Yes.
Most of your life.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me a little bit of how the church here at Bardstown Church of God began. I know that you had kind of mentioned that, you know, some of the earlier services were at the high school and the gym.
Yes.
And then they moved over. I think it's a law office now, correct?
Yes.
So that was that one room?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, then he's built more onto it
Mm-hmm.
now. The lawyer did.
Okay.
And I put it like this. It was a challenge going in that one little room. And I hadn't been used to that. And you're trying to teach 3 kids over here, and somebody's having a class over here and they're all here in the same room. But it was a challenge, but we overcame it and got this. When we got this thing over here, we thought we'd go, man. You know, even though it did get the bears out and elephants.
Yeah. And then, so that initial part of the church was around 1974, right?
That's what it's.
When was this newer part built on?
It's about I think it's about 5 years later. I think I might be wrong.
So around 1980. Okay.
Yeah.
And in both sides, you know, the ladies really had a big hand in making sure that
Yes.
the construction went on and making sure people were fed and you know.
Yes.
So, okay. So just we talked about that building process. Was there any challenges that were faced within the whole extent of the construction process of either the original side and, you know, later on this newer side? Was there any kind of disadvantages or challenges that was faced?
Well, we did these beams going through here. I think you got 4, 5.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, all the way through, you know, through here. They come in on a rail car.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to go up there in a truck up there and drag them off, put them around, bring them in here so they could build the roof. You know. That was a challenge. And at that time it was pretty rough because the guy that was helping me, was, you know, he could do pretty good, but he's up in age. And I feel sorry for them. Felt like I am now. Now it'd be a total disaster if I had to go do it now. But that's a challenge right there.
So a lot of logistical,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just trying to make sure everything was together.
Together.
Did you all use like a lot of machinery? Did you all have to rent any machines to help, or was it just mostly just
at that time? I know they had blacktopped the parking lot and everything, and that's been a little challenge. I think we're going to have to go through something like that now, and we need to do it and make it look better and make it more suitable. But it was a challenge. I put it like this: everything went good, but it's still a lot of worries. I'm just glad we had Brother Mike Smith here. And he got a good head on his shoulder. Thank goodness.
Right.
If I'd done it, it'd already been a mess.
Right. Was there any kind of like, was there any type of worry or anxiety when it came to, hey, we're building this new building. Are we going to have the people come to support this? And I don't know if it was built debt free or if it was something that was.
Well, I went through some debt, and I got thinking later. It was a challenge because I was sentencing superintendent. I have 15 people here, and I didn't even get enough freaking money to even pay a light bill. I mean, it come through it once a month, but it worries you. But Lord always come through with it. But we had a struggle,
right,
on that.
Okay. How did you first get involved with some of the activities around the church?
Well, when you're a superintendent and you got people here, you got to get in there with it. I mean, you have to, because everything's been on you on that. And that's the way I look at it. I know at times it was a challenge. And everybody's going to tell you what to do. And of course, they got the right to tell me what they need to do. And I had a few challenges.
Okay. What kind of ministries or committees have you sat on through your tenure here?
Well, there's a lot of them.
I know currently you're on the Pastor's Council right now.
Yeah, I was on that. Yeah. And it was a challenge too. I mean, anyway, I'm gonna go higher.
So no, you're fine. So you've been on a lot of different aspects around it. Okay.
I've been, that any trouble or anything. I've got blunt up, just in brain. And, well, I should have done this, and they should have done that. But you got to go on with the people,
Right. And it's one of those. It's like hindsight's 20/20. You've got better vision when it's hindsight versus when you're looking at it head on.
Yeah.
So I can understand that. Were there any significant events or milestones that you can remember that you'd like to, tell us about that's happened during your time here?
Well, at the time, the pastor had a house up on 31E going towards Bardstown. It's about maybe 2/10 of a mile up on the right. He's going down. And we had a family here that he was pretty off. I mean, he was pretty good. I mean, he had money. He had lived in this house up here. So he used to give it to the church. And that's where the pastor's living now. And that helped. I mean, he just automatically give it the church the house, as far as I know. And that really was a blessing.
Yeah.
And I know it's an upkeep there, but we're trying to do things well to fix it up and try to do better.
Right, and it's a longevity thing.
Yes,
it's making sure that who we have here, of course, Pastor Lanehart at this time, making sure that our pastors and those that are shepherding us are taken care of, because it's a big job for them.
Yes.
In what ways has the church changed or evolved?
I think it's quite a bit. Because, I mean, ideals we get a few things. And I think like you got a sign up here telling where each day, where to go. And you got a sanctuary back there in the back where they have lunches, everything. And, but Adrian Wheat found out that building in, I think it's E-Town. And he got the parts off of it and everything over here and they put it together back there. And that's what we got, the fellowship hall back there. It took all that.
So so really our life center came from a location in E-Town.
Yeah, yes.
So somebody was already using that material.
Yes. Okay. And they tore it down. They redo it, and we got all the material.
Oh, well, I never knew that.
Yeah.
That's a blessing. I know we have your lovely wife here with us today, Sister D. Has the other family members of yours, have they attended here with you, or have they come throughout the years?
Well, I put it like this. My ex, we was married 29 years, and things looked better on the other side of the fence. And then I dated my wonderful woman there for, I guess, 5 years. But that's the best thing. I mean, I'm just going to say the best thing for me. And so, I mean, I was just throwing that out there.
Yeah. I know your ex-wife, Sister Becky, she goes here, her and her sister Dorothy. Your children, you had said that they got kind of, slain in the Spirit and baptized in the Holy Ghost. Was that here as well? Or?
Yeah, did that in Bloomfield.
Bloomfield. Okay.
And that's the reason I joined church over there, because I knew then it was real.
Right.
Then.
Right.
It's hard. I mean, I was going to church with me and everything, but I just had to keep praying that they would rise up.
Yeah. So we talked about some of the building challenges and some of the hardships that was faced. Were there any other challenges that the church had went through within the first 5 years, other than the building and the maintaining? Was there anything significant that was challenging within those first 5 years?
Well, when you get this, you got to pay the light bill, you got to do different things, you got to do it. And we didn't have that much money coming in. And we had a few challenges. And my one thing there, some of the people here was building houses. And they took their profit and give the church half of what they made. Then that got us going. That's where all started getting a little money from that here.
So a lot of personal financial sacrifices.
Yes.
Okay. What was the traditional service like in the early years of Bardstown Church of God?
Well, I put it like this. It was back in this room, back in there. And Brother Mike, he had a way about him that everybody just liked to listen to him, everything. And Chris was on the back row with Sherry, crying. He said, "Excuse me." Well, I mean, it's really stuck to me about raising children. And he was here, and of course, he went back there to the bathroom back there, and I guess, and then boy wasn't crying no more. He never did cry no more.
That's funny. I know my mom's taken me out of church several times and has, laid the right hand of fellowship across my backside. So yeah,
my mom pinched me several times all the way.
Right. I used to go to church with my great grandmother in Ohio, and she went to an Assemblies of God church.
Yeah.
And she had these real long bony fingers, and she just right there in the middle of your kneecap. And if you didn't straighten up and act right, you were going too quickly.
Yeah.
So we're entering into that 50th year season, that year of Jubilee, that celebration. We're coming up on it in just a couple months, really. So you've seen how things have transpired over those last 50 years.
Yes.
What do you believe is your vision of the future of the church?
I see it really growing. And I want to put this out there. I'm just glad. I don't know how come you come here, but it's a blessing. And you and your wife love y'all very much. And what you're doing, great.
I know a lot of it is, kind of keeping up with the times and how technology changes. And, we just got to have this, several years of COVID, and it really kind of boggled the church down and kind of messed with it a little bit. But things are constantly evolving on my end,
yes.
And serving as the media director. So I do think that our church is going strong, and I think that it will also go even stronger. And pastors even made comments over the last several weeks about you're going to have to start getting here early if you want your seat.
Yeah. That's right.
Right. And I don't know if Sister D had told you about this. I know she follows us on our Facebook page, but we're reaching people around the world.
Oh yeah,
we've got people in India and Germany and Asia and Africa. So it's amazing to see that what was once the vision of Pastor Mike Smith. I'm sure he never had the slightest idea of us going out and reaching all the corners of the world.
Right.
It's really amazing to see the back end of things too, but knowing how it was the past 50 years.
Yes.
And how it might affect the next 50 years.
Yes, right.
Did you ever envision Bardstown being where it is today when it first began?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I was worried the first 2 or 3 years because people come in next day who didn't show up no more, but we had new people coming in all the time. And it's happened now. We got people coming to church. I used to know everybody, but now I have to tell my wife, "Who's that?" She keeps up with them.
Right. And it is a lot of new faces.
Yeah,
it is, and that just means that there's life and longevity in that. How did any decisions from leadership shape and impact how the church has formed to where it is today?
Well, I think the other pastors come here. We have really good pastors over the years, and they had to know what to do and talk to the people and let people, say yes or no, or they like it or don't like it. But most time, it involves the congregation, and our pastor now, I mean, he's awesome. But you trained him pretty good. He sang pretty good now.
I guess I did, yeah. I guess I did do a good job. I spoke with the Church of God International office in Cleveland, Tennessee, a couple months ago. And one of the things that I really wanted to get information on from them is some of the pastors that have served through the years and when they were here. And of course, we have Brother Mike Smith. He was here from January of 1975 officially to January of 1980. So he was here a little over 5 years, right?
I thought 4 years was more.
Yeah. Good. Of course, the placard that we have outside, it says that, 1974, So I know that that's kind of when the church was built, but I guess this is just kind of going to say that's when he was installed as the pastor.
Yes.
Then we moved down to H.D. Spivey. He was here for about 2.5 years, I believe.
Yes, he was.
Then we had Brother Stanley Rutland. It looks like he was here for about 3 years.
I think it's about right.
James Bowers, June of 85 to July of 86. Adrian Wheat, August of 86 to September of 95. So he was here, almost 10 years.
Yes.
Thomas Edwards, we have his son, Brother Barry, with us. He's also another member of the Pastors Council, and he's, on our praise team. His dad, Brother Edwards, was here from October 95 to July of 98. So he served quite a few years as well. Then we had Brother William Adams. He was here for around 11 years. Doug Lutz, he was here, it looks like about 6 years. And I originally met Brother Lutz whenever he was the pastor here. Then we had David Calvert for about 3 years, and then currently from January of 2019 to now we have Pastor Edwin Mainhart.
I'm glad you got them, because I didn't know how to. You
there
bring
was a
back
lot
memories and all that.
Right, there was a lot of change that happened. Yeah, and with each of those pastors was a different vision.
Yes.
And I wasn't I wasn't here for a lot of that. So kind of seeing how their vision of moving the church forward, I can see that there's a lot of stress within the walls, within the paint, but there's also a lot of hard work and perseverance.
Yes.
That has been done throughout the years as well. A lot of prayers you can hear.
You're right.
Do you have any, with how that they have kind of molded and led from, that head down perspective, from the head down, they probably have had some words of wisdom and some a lot of praying and stuff. Do you have any words of wisdom or any advice for some of the members, whether it be current, new, some of the leadership today, a next media director, an ex-pastor, an ex-worship leader? Do you have any words of wisdom or advice for any of them?
Well, you need one that prays, and they do, and wants to work with like the men. You have a little prayer before preaches, and he just started that, and I think something like that. You got to have them involved. You got to have people involved in your prayers and doing things. If you haven't got that, that brings everybody closer together. And we got a wonderful pastor now, and his wife. I mean, everybody likes her, and good family with them.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad that you found us. Haley, and all y'all found us and came here to be with us. And it's a blessing. The first time y'all come here, I told Dee, I said, "Oh, God, we got somebody playing organ, piano now."
Right. Yeah. It's good for Haley and myself to be here.
Yeah.
It was really a call of God on us, and not saying this to kind of blow my own horn, but there was a lot of sacrifice and a lot of fasting and prayers that went into that. But we are definitely glad to be here with you.
Yeah, well, praise the Lord. I'm glad.
Yeah.
And Reed can tell you that I think a lot of y'all, and I've always talked to them about you too.
Yeah.
And that, and you got a group up there singing. Excellent.
They're pretty good.
You really done a good job. Your wife too.
Don't say that too loud. She might be watching this. So, well, I appreciate your time today. It's really good to sit down with you and kind of learn some of the history about Bardstown Church of God.
Well, it's a lot of history. And we had, when we was up there a little down Temple up there, we had 2 bus loads come in to go over to Bardstown and just pass out leaflets and all that and just get started. They did that on one Saturday. And I don't know how we got that many people in that church, but in that little building. But they went out and surveyed, and they were like that. And we got one person come to church, and they got right next to us up there.
Wow.